Welcome back to Canada Now with Jeff Samet. Canada Talks, Sirius XM 167.
Hour number 2. Thanks for sticking around. The CEE, Center for Young Black Professionals, is a charity dedicated to addressing economic and social barriers impacting black youth in Canada by offering programs to improve their careers, education, and empowerment that are holistic and person-centered and culturally relevant. Its executive director, Agapi Gessesse, joins us on Canada Now. And Agapi, given the ongoing global health crisis, you've certainly been pressed into action with some new initiatives.
Yes, we have. Hello, Jeff. I think that given COVID, we've really been pivoting all of our focus. We have 266 young people who have gone through our program successfully, and we are now addressing their needs. And pretty early on, when COVID took place, we went and called each and every one of them and tried to figure out what their immediate needs were. And we put them in categories, red being emergency right now, yellow being, I'm going to need this in a couple of days, and green being, I'm okay for now. So 142 of our young people got back to us and said, top three things was mental health support, food, shelter, and then system navigation. There's just so much information. Nobody knows what's what. And so we've really been focusing all of our programming around supporting the community and understanding what it is that they need and addressing those immediate needs.
Well, given the response to this campaign, I mean, it must have been overwhelming to have, first off, immediately gotten so much feedback, and then to hear what that feedback is all about.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we really pride ourselves on at C is we really build community. And, the best way to outreach to community is you do a really great job of doing a person-centered approach. We believe that everybody who walks through our doors, that should be their last stop. They tell us what it is that they need, and if we don't have it, we then, find a partner to be able to provide what it is that they need, if it's another social service agency and we're doing a referral. The thing with our community, and especially the young people that we work with, we're committed to working with young people furthest from the labor market. There's a lot of trust around institutions. And so what we've really been able to do is build a community of young people that really look to us and rely on us and trust us to direct them in the right way. So referring out to another agency really needs to be a warm referral. Hey, so-and-so, this is so-and-so agency, or even going to those agencies with them is really something that we pride ourselves on. So our community really trusts the work that we do and knows that we have their best interests at heart. So a lot of the time, their family members, their friends, people who are around them, much like with our programming, when they see a change in someone, they're like, wow. So in this emergency, they're seeing, an agency that has reacted really quickly. We've gone in contact with folks, which we're already in constant communication with most of our young people. And so they've now referred and said, these people are really reliable. They'll get you the information that you need, especially in a time of panic and just uncertainty.
Well, it's great to have a charity like yours that is quick to respond and quick to help, which is so badly needed these days. How crucial is all this, not just for the well-being of Toronto youth, but also for the national economy?
I think this is, the thing that I want to also mention here is we actually run a community of practice. So Black-led, Black-serving agencies, there's 36 agencies that come to the table, and we meet frequently to share best practices. But given COVID-19, we have come together and we've actually released a report, the Emergency Aid Report. And if you go onto our website, you can read that report. But really what we are looking at is there's the immediate emergency, yes, and the needs that need to be made here. But then there's also, we see it as 3 stages. There's the immediate emergency, there's recovery. What is this going to look like for our community in the future? And then post-COVID, what are the recoveries really about? What is in our case, the Black community going to need across this country? and also locally. But then also, what is post-COVID going to mean for the social service sector? Much like a lot of other industries, we've been hit very hard by this. But the difference is, we're actually supposed to be here when this is all over. And so if we don't weather this storm, then the people who rely on us most, the most vulnerable folks across this country, might not be able to be served in the way that they need to. So
yeah, and I was going to say, boy, we're going to hit that hard later on in the hour with a different group of Canadians that would certainly need help. I would think, and this has got to make you feel good, Agapi, given the work that you guys are doing. If anything, this crisis really has amplified the need for CEE.
I definitely think so. I think not even just now, but I think in the future of this, we train young people in 5 major labor gaps in the Canadian market. So trades, hospitality, information technology, trades, and entertainment. And, 4 out of those 5 industries have been hit really hard. And so we think that agencies like ours are going to need to be there for the rebuilding. It's going to take resiliency from all Canadians, but especially the most vulnerable. It's going to be a really tough road to recovery.
It certainly is for many people, but more so some. How was CEE founded in the first place?
So CEE actually was founded, it came out of YCF, which was United Way in the province of Ontario, came together after the 2006 Summer of the Gun, recognizing that there was a lot of violence that was taking place in the city and that there needed to be an immediate response. 150, I believe, agency or initiatives were founded out of that. I always say that C is a series of learned mistakes, right? So things that were tried in the beginning, it was actually meant for entrepreneurship for young people who are furthest from the labor market. And then in 2012, the founder, Kofi Hope, he went around in communities for an entire year, just hearing what the community needed, looking at why youth programming wasn't necessarily working at the time, and created what we call now the C model. We have a 91% retention rate. So 91% of the young people who walk through our doors succeed and end up in a job. And so that's really how it was founded, and I think the purpose of it, is very telling now.
Well, how can listeners learn more about you and about CEE?
You can go to our website, www.ctoronto.org. You can also read the report that our partners have put out as well. Mm-hmm.
CEE Center for Young Black Professionals Executive Director Agapi Gessesse. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much for joining us, and continue the great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. Stay safe.
Thanks, Agapi. You too.